The History and Impact of Climate Change by Philip Sugar. Climate change is one of the most urgent challenges facing our world today, but its roots go back much farther than we often realize. While the Earth's climate has naturally changed over millions of years, the pace and scale of recent warming are unlike anything in recorded history, and much of it is driven by human activity. From the rise of the Industrial Revolution to the present day, increasing greenhouse gas emissions have altered the planet's climate, triggering more extreme weather, rising sea levels, and serious threats to ecosystems and human societies. Understanding the history of climate change helps us see how we got here and why it's so crucial that we act now to limit its impact on our future. According to NASA, climate change is a long-term change in the average weather patterns that have come to define Earth's local, regional, and global climates. These changes have a broad range of observed effects that are synonymous with the term. In 2007, theoretical physicist Stephen Hawking said this famous quote that summarizes climate change. "The polar ice caps are shrinking and the desert areas are increasing. At night, the Earth is no longer dark, but large areas are lit up. All of this is evidence that human exploitation of the planet is reaching a critical limit." First, let's explore the history of climate change and the key milestones. Long before modern industry, over the course of millions of years, Earth's climate went through natural changes. Ice ages, warm periods, and volcanic activity all played a role. Scientists today are able to study things like tree rings and ice cores in the Arctic to understand and learn how the climate behaved thousands of years ago. In the late 1700s, the Industrial Revolution began. People began burning large amounts of coal to power factories and trains. This released large amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. From this point on, human activity began to significantly affect the climate. In this graph, you can clearly see how carbon dioxide emissions have been rapidly increasing since the Industrial Revolution. Countries have been continuously burning fossil fuels for almost 3 centuries, accelerating global warming to a level unseen before. In the 1800s, early research began, and scientists started investigating climate patterns seemingly linked to global warming and climate change. In the 1820s, French scientist Joseph Fourier proposed that sunlight is heating the Earth, but some of that heat stays trapped in the atmosphere instead of returning back to space. This idea became known as the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect phenomenon explains how gases like carbon dioxide trap heat in the atmosphere, warming the planet. While this process helps keep the Earth warm, it has gotten increasingly worse due to pollution and human activity, causing the Earth to overheat. Fourier's early research and proposed theory helped scientists begin to understand the causes of the rising global temperatures. The increase in carbon dioxide emissions over the past century have significantly contributed to global warming. Carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere have surged by over 50% since the Industrial Revolution. Furthermore, the ozone layer prevents the majority of the sun's UV rays from causing damaging effects to the Earth, but chemical aerosols have caused a hole in the layer to appear over the South Pole. This has also had a significant effect on worsening global warming, and if the hole expands, it may cause even more harm to the planet. The image of the Earth above displays the hole in the ozone layer colored in purple. NASA's research has also been vital for information on global warming. They began studying climate change in the 1980s, researching how land use, the ocean, and pollution have affected it. Through their research, they have created 3D models and maps displaying how the climate is being affected and monitoring the global situation. The map above showcases how the average global temperature has increased significantly in just the past 40 years. Now, let's look at some of the impacts climate change is having on the planet. Today, we see clear signs of climate change. Global temperatures are rising, glaciers are melting, sea levels are going up, and extreme weather events like wildfires, floods, and droughts are happening more often. The data is overwhelming and continues to grow. The images on the right show how glaciers are melting due to rising temperature, and the images on the left show how extreme weather events like wildfires and droughts are worsening and becoming more frequent every year. As NASA and other scientific organizations expanded their research into climate change, global awareness of its effects began to rise. In the summer of 1988, the Earth experienced its hottest temperatures ever recorded. That same year brought on numerous disastrous droughts and wildfires throughout the United States. These major events were alarming to scientists, so a year later, in 1989, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change was established by the United Nations. Around this time, global warming gained rapidly increasing interest from scientists and politicians alike. People around the world began to realize the scale and significance of climate change. The good news is we can solve this issue. In 2015, every nation in the world came together and signed the Paris Agreement, a landmark agreement to help reduce emissions. One of the most effective ways to combat climate change is by transitioning to renewable energy sources. We can switch to clean energy like solar and wind to reduce our reliance on fossil fuels and cut emissions. We must protect our forests since they play a crucial role in absorbing carbon dioxide. And we need to make farming more sustainable and reduce the usage of chemicals which cause damage to ecosystems. Finally, there is one last thing we need to address. And that is what you can do. Addressing climate change requires more than individual efforts. It demands global collaboration and commitment from every country, industry, and community. Governments must enact policies that support sustainability. Businesses must innovate solutions that minimize environmental impact. And individuals must make specific choices that contribute to a greener world. By working together, we can create meaningful change and ensure the planet is safe for future generations. Even small actions can make a big difference. You can save energy, waste less, eat more plant-based foods, and talk to others about climate change. Taking part in actions that protect the planet is key. Together, we can create a healthier and safer future for everyone. Thank you.